We are live now. So stream. Just a minute. We see the stream details. Oh yeah, we have one person live. Okay. Yeah, we can get started. So guys, we have our guest today, Kathure. Welcome so much. So welcome to Blackboard. This is our second edition. Try to beef things up a little bit. We have at least a board. Be taking some notes as she speaks. So we could just start off with the introductions. And also I think I forgot to mention I have also a co-host today. Kubai was to be here also as a co-host. Couldn't make it today, but also I have Clement, a good friend of mine. Some of you maybe might have seen him during the last session. He was asking a lot of questions. And today you're here, you can ask those questions. But Clement also an engineer at Microsoft, and we are now with our main guest today is Kathure. We'll be talking mostly about interviewing, and the extra minutes we'll get, we'll also talk a little bit about a few other things around software engineering. That once you have gotten into that company that you want to, like whether it's Facebook, Google, Microsoft, a startup like Afra is talking, what else can you do now? So she'll also be talking a little bit about that. And for Clement, guys, don't worry, we also have him as a guest again. We had him first as a guest before course, but we have put the cat before the horse, which is still okay. Okay, so let's start with you, Kathure. I like starting with your journey into computing.
Okay.
How was that journey like? How did you start and where?
Yeah. So my journey started with I think a degree in computer science, and then I later on tried, or rather got a master's in computational intelligence. But before that, so I am a beneficiary of Career Point Kenya, let me say that. Because all my jobs really I used to apply from that site. So I used to be naive. I used to apply at least 10 jobs every day.
Okay.
So on a Sunday I used to just go to Career Point, list all the available opportunities, and then break them down into 10, 10, 10, and then each day I used to now apply 10. So it was a very naive approach, because the other day I went through the list of jobs I used to apply, and there's one job that I applied for a general manager, and I think I was 22, 23 at that time. So I think those are the applications that HR personnel usually look at, and then they laugh and dump them. And then, so my first job from Career Point, let me say, was in a company called, I don't know whether I should be saying company names.
Oh no, you can just say, yeah, maybe don't say, let's not give them a shameless plug. At least there's a company.
It was a startup in Westlands called Infinite Solutions.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you don't have to mention, but at least there's a. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't have like any experience at all, so that was really awesome that CEO took the chance on me. And from there now I started applying different other organizations, still online. I remember there are some interviews that I showed up without invitations.
Oh wait, you just said like, wait, were you invited? And you just say I'm here.
So there's one.
Nice.
I think it was, okay, let me just say cellulant, I think.
Mm.
So someone leaked the interview message to a group of people, and then me and my cousin just showed up for the interview. But we were not the only people that showed up. We were told, do this and this. It was really simple if I look at it right now. Create a website that captures it, not an entire website with designs and all that, capture these particular details from users, and then save them in the DB, provide the functionality to delete and all that. So I tried, it didn't go through, and then I left. Really, I wasn't contacted back, but at least I learned. I learned what to expect in a setting, an interview setting, and then after that, I tried to do. So you remember there's a time that Oracle was the thing, Oracle. So I tried out Oracle. I became an Oracle certified professional.
You ended up the exams and all that.
Yeah. So that's the second level. There's the associate level and then the professional level. I tried to find jobs around that area. I used to be that walking that comes in and says, I want to talk to the HR. And then unfortunately for this one company, I was told, it wasn't unfortunately because it set me to my path right now. I was told that so what we have is a software engineering role, but the Oracle DBA role will open up in like maybe 3 months or so, you can wait. So I just joined in because I was doing development before, and then I waited for the role to open up until I fell in love with now engineering itself, and that's now how I continue up to now.
Wow, I love that journey. Like I like the applying. Wow, I think I like it. It's more like tenacity. I don't know what's the right word to use. Like never giving up, just applying, and even for those that you're not even shortlisted, you appear there. Okay, I like that. Because most times those shortlistings are usually not also perfect. As you said, you've always said even in the previous interview that interviews are not perfect.
Yeah.
So you can always beat the system. I like that. Okay, good. So I don't know if you have any more follow-up questions around like her background.
No, I was just curious about that Oracle thing. I've always been curious, like what it entails when you get a certification. Like, do you go through a course about the database administration? Like what does that certification imply? Say, if you've gone through the program.
Okay. So to begin with, you start with just normal querying.
Okay.
So that's the intro class. And then after that, you're given administration tutorials or something like, you're tutored on the administration stuff until basically it's just admin stuff, and then there are different levels. So my level was the second level, OCP. I didn't get to the expert level. I think that's when you get to security and stuff,
And if I get from what you were explaining, like your journey, so you didn't like have let's say beforehand, like maybe a passion for engineering, like the opportunity presented itself after you were like applying to different roles, and then once you saw like they had an opening for engineering, then you decided to focus on that, to learn that, so that you'll be able to get to that company, or did you like always want to be a software engineer even before that?
So I can't say that I didn't like to be a software engineer. I wanted to be a software engineer, but the level of exposure I had and the different things that you could do with engineering was not that much at the time when I got out of campus. And then with getting into the different startups and companies and seeing what people are really doing with their engineering maybe experience and all that, I got to know that this is a field that I can actually be passionate about. It's not just about capturing user input and saving it to the DB and displaying it. There's much more that can go into that.
Nice. I
Yeah,
like that.
but I also like the resilience. The real definition of could you do
I just need the word of resilience. I don't know if it is aka tenacity, but resilience is the word I was looking for. Resilience. Nice. I like that. So now let's go to the main thing today. Well, just wanted you to, through your interview process, interviewing for even Microsoft or whatever company that you, it looks like you are maybe among us, you have the highest number of like experience interview. Like for me, I'm not. so I'll really be looking forward to listening to your tips. Yes, so let's go. Like whatever tips that you have.
Okay. One thing that I figured is as I went through the interviews is that you want to choose maybe a language that you're really comfortable with. Something that you won't forget the syntax and all that. So one key thing is just be careful with the language that you choose to go into the interviewing process with. And then after that, there's obviously that step of you need to really practice. Really practice, put in the time. And there's a lot of material out there that you can practice with. So personally, I really like these really gigs for gigs. I find they usually document a lot of details, so you just don't get like the working solution. You get to see how you get them, and then they have illustrations, drawings, and all that, and usually a clip, a video of someone explaining the different implementations at the end of at the bottom there. So usually prefer gigs for gigs, and then there's also LeetCode. That's another resource that people can use. LeetCode is really amazing, really.
Yeah, we use LeetCode a lot here for most of the questions that we're handling are from LeetCode Easy. So awesome, good to hear about it. What else on the resources?
Yeah, and then I also love going through the YouTube videos. So there's this guy called Gaurav. He usually posts a lot of design questions.
Gaurav,
yeah, it's Gaurav. Let me confirm.
For
I
design.
have to confirm that.
Even now, you can get me.
Yeah, Gaurav Sen. Yeah.
What is the second name spelled as?
Sen. S-E-N.
S-E-N. Nice. So we can link up the YouTube link on the description. So thanks for that. I'll follow up on that. Go ahead.
Other than that, there's interview cake, but personally, because of I prefer gigs for gigs, I usually use interview cake as the second option when it comes to explanation and all that. Yeah. Those are the resources that I usually use. And then, so before maybe diving into the different resources, usually like to write a checklist of the different things that I need to work on, focus on, the data structures, the algorithms, just really.
Or sort of like set up a curriculum of sorts.
Yeah. So in your phone, just write all these things that you really need to focus on. And then once you're comfortable with a certain data structure, and then you look for related questions, do them. Once you're done with all that, you can take it off and go to the next thing. So I usually find comfort in knowing that if any question comes around this particular DS, this particular algorithm, I'll be able to think it through and come up with a solution. So other than that, one thing that I really leveraged when I was interviewing for Microsoft specifically was discussing with people, finding people to discuss some of these challenges with. So at that time I was in campus, and every time I go to class. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Every time I go to class, I used to, before the lecturer comes in, I used to just have someone next to me, and I'll give them maybe a question on that uses hash marks or something like that. And then I'll listen to the way they will tackle the question, because it's really key to listen to the way someone approaches a solution. You just don't want to table your approach, because you can get a lot of, you can really learn a lot from someone else's way of thinking. Yeah, and then
I've never looked at it that way. I thought like even the prepping is like you're just trying to see how you'll be on time and all that. But I think I like the fact that you also want to listen to, though not even the guys are not going to interview, but you just want to listen to their perspective.
yeah.
You realize you might learn a few more things.
Yeah, and because someone, the person you're talking to is not going to interview, they're usually not under the pressure to impress or to do all this, so they just tell you what they're thinking about, about something. Yeah, so
feel free to interject whenever you have a question. I think I'm just going for the points.
Maybe just for the resources, there's something else that I think I found useful. It's a YouTube channel, but they also have a site called interviewing.io. So it's like a prep interview site where someone gets interviewed by an industry professional, and they post some of those interview sessions on YouTube. So you can watch like an interview process, like how the candidate is approaching the question, the feedback they get from the interviewer, and the exchanges. So I feel like it's also a good good resource, and it can give you an idea of what to expect in such an interview.
You see, makes sense. Good stuff. So you're on point number 4. 4, you talked about the practice. Do you have any more? Like, already these are very solid points.
Yeah. Now, so when it comes to the interview itself, I think that's where you need to be a little bit strategic in how you approach the questions, how you answer them. So I usually find myself, that's one of the last things that I usually try to remind myself. Keep calm, listen to the questions, and then ask for clarification if need be. Just that bit of getting the clarification, so that you don't start looking for solving something that you really don't understand. And then from now the clarifications you get, the understanding, you can draw if you really need to. I got that from Gigs for Gigs. Just draw if you need to, so that you get to visualize that. And then there are quite a number of things that you can do, and throughout the process make sure that you're communicating with the interviewer, right? That's really key.
I see. So let me ask you actually on the ask for clarification when need be. Also, maybe I will add more of just adding, not even asking. Or what do you think about this? That it's also good to refresh the question according to how you understand it, even if you don't have a question. Like at last, when if you don't have a question about, at least respond that you have sort of understood what they are saying, so you can refresh. Say, okay, no, you want me to, okay. But then if you say you ask them that and they tell you, oh no, that's not what I meant, then now you notice, okay, you're getting things wrong. But I've seen so many people come, because at least I've interviewed a lot. I think even we did some interview with Clement, like way back when I was running a startup. So from my experiences with interviewing, some guys will just jump into the solution, start doing the solution. So I think that's a good thing to mention, that ask clarifying questions. Anything else on this?
Let me see. When it comes to attacking the question, I may be wrong here, Clement, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's you can probably start with a pseudo. not necessarily just going through the code itself or the brute force that you have, and then from there you work to optimize solution. Yeah, you don't have to really type the code and then start optimizing from the code itself. You can do the pseudo, try to optimize, discuss with the interviewer the different trade-offs that you're doing in optimizing in terms of space and time and all that. And then and then once you and the interviewer are in sync in terms of now you can go ahead and implement, you can go there and do the implementation.
That's interesting. I've never thought about it that way. Most times I just take like I do, then maybe start optimizing as you go. But it's good that you mentioned that. But also they can also be in tension with the other point that we discussed last time with the Kubai about you might be stuck in the trying to optimize. Because they're like, oh no, how about this? Then before you know it, you have 5 minutes. Right? So Kubai was more like, start writing, even if you don't have anything much, start doing. Yeah, because actually this thing is funny, because sometimes again it's a time sport. For me actually I've failed in so many interviews just because I didn't meet the time. Just like they told me like you are slow with this. So I got to so many of those kind of feedback. So I think it's a balance, but I think I like the fact that also that you'll be able to quickly get feedback from the interviewer.
Yeah.
Like whether you're going to be on the right path.
I also think another benefit of like the pseudocode, and for me pseudocode it's anything, you just even write like sentences or phrases or even keywords of the different steps that you're thinking through. One of the benefits I found of doing that is sometimes when you write an algorithm, and it could be, especially if it's like an algorithm or with different steps or different let's say sub problems, it's easy to forget some details once you're coding, like what was I supposed to do after this? And like you forget some details, or you forget some edge cases. But now if you had like written the steps beforehand, they kind of provide you like with a guideline, so that you know that after this particular piece of code solves this statement, and then now after this I was going to check for this next part of the solution. So at least you don't forget.
Makes sense to me.
But also wouldn't. I think I would also try to get a working solution first, then optimize after it works.
So maybe you can look at the time and see, so that you just don't.
Honestly, I have that timer, right? Nice. I think we can switch gears and go to. You've also been an interviewer. You have some experience with interviewing. So, some advice, like I think I like the advice that Kubai gave about even startups. They're telling them you don't have to do things the way Google or Microsoft or Facebook does. You can tweak your interviewing process mainly to be more personal. Big companies, they have to scale. They have to do things in a particular way, in a specific way, and then so they can interview, let's say, 100 people in a day, stuff like that. But these ones, they want, a startup, you just need to fill 2 positions. It's better to be more rigorous, give more time. Even you talked about like take-home assignments and stuff like that. But at Microsoft or Google, you might never do such a thing because of the scale. But just give any tips, whether an interviewer is at Microsoft, at Google, or whatever place it may be. Just give an advice of what they can do.
Okay.
I have these other people calling you like, hey, nimekuona kwa TV. Nimekuona kwa TV.
That would be good. I don't know whether to finish with up with the last advice. I had one.
One more tip 6. Okay, good. Let me put it down.
Before I go to the other one, something that I really found to be really useful, talking about projects that you've worked on, and then when you're talking about the projects, talk about the impact they had to the organizations, and then impact tied down to maybe the time saved, money, really, and then when you're talking about such a project, make sure you have your facts right, because now the interviewer will start asking you questions about the project. So you said you used maybe this and this method to optimize multi-threading or something like that. Tell me more about that. And then you're there, you don't have anything to talk about. So it can be a plus, a really good plus for you to set yourself apart from the other interviewees, but at the same time, you can dig a hole for yourself if you don't know the facts.
The facts.
Yeah.
Oh, then you start saying, okay, okay, which sort of, okay, maybe you talk about even language. Okay, what did you use? It was go, okay, that channels, okay, what about them, blah, 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 and you say like, what? So, yeah, you're right. So just have like all the facts. Actually, for me, I remember what I used to do sometimes, because I'm really forgetful from like, when even that thing about stage fright, you get to a place and then you just forget. I learned that earlier on. So from moment on, I just made sure that I'm always having some notes on the side. Like if you talk about projects, I already have my notes so that I don't forget. Because usually I used to have those issues where I finish something and I say, I should have said this. Why did I mention this? So just have like everything, and then the rest can be those that can overflow. Others you can always say on the fly. Okay, but that was a good addition to it.
Yeah, that's the last one.
Oh, nice. Okay, good. Okay, let's get the interviewers now. What?
So for the interviewers, I think the key thing, especially for the startups, is so you don't want to interview general stuff. As much as data structures and algorithm is one thing to interview, it should be, as Kubai said, it should not be the main thing. So you have a project that you know for sure this is what maybe the client needs, or this is what our market needs, and we need, let's say, these specific tech stacks, or probably if you don't know the tech stacks here for the product that you want to build, you really know what you want, the product that you want. So you want to tailor the interview to specifically what you want to build, not just throwing what are they called? Throwing arrows and just assuming that you will capture maybe an animal or something like that. Just tailor your interview process to what you want to achieve, because then again, if you don't tailor the interview process, you'll have to spend some cash and time on trainings and all that before someone gets to start. Yeah.
So basically, I think what I'm hearing from you also is that every time the interview process doesn't have to be the same, right? Depending on the job. This time maybe you're looking for a DevOps person.
It doesn't have to be the same.
Now DevOps, and again your data structures. Why would you ever do data structures in DevOps? So like everyone, like depending on the needs. You want maybe a full stack person. Again, data structures just a waste of time, because you want to have an advantage of that all-roundedness. Oh, nice.
It's not entirely a waste of time. It could be an entry level. Like that one for screening. At least if you don't know this, like a 30 minutes thing, it should be. It should not be like 4 hours or so. Just a 30 minutes. If you don't know this, basic stuff.
Oh, but not having it as at the end.
Yeah, not the entire process.
Okay, I like it. What else?
For startups specifically, or just?
Oh no, anyway, any interviewer.
Okay.
Future interviewers, current interviewers.
I see. From my experience in interviewing, which is so I found some interviewers who are really fixated on a solution, on a way of solving something. But you realize in programming, in engineering, there's no specific way of doing something, right? I could have an approach. I'm not saying it's the best. It's something we could work with and then optimize from there. But you'll find someone has a fixed mindset. This is how I expect this interviewee to solve this problem. So that's something that probably they can be flexible a little bit. Listen to the interviewee, and then from there you can start talking, build a conversation from there.
from like that.
Yeah.
Don't be fixated on a particular solution that you.
Or approach, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Don't be fixated on.
Also, there's the opposite of that I noticed, whereby someone is really eager to kind of interject and tell you what to do, so you don't get to just say what. So before you just say anything, they can say, "Oh yeah, you can do this." So they just, I don't know, give them time to just talk their mind out and something like that before you start now guiding them on what to do.
Yeah. So until when you finish the challenge, you wonder like, so who did this challenge? So it makes you leave that interview like, yes, you had the answer, but you don't know that they were going before you.
Yeah.
Before you say it, they're already like, yes, you can reverse that. Okay, you can.
Yeah. Yes, you got to the answer, but you're not sure. Am I the one who did this interview? Is it the interviewer? Yeah, is that? Yeah.
I see. Nice. So I guess we're getting to the last bits of it. Okay, yes, the last bits of it where, and this is a very good discussion that I would like us to have, because I think this is the last, for those watching, maybe this is the last time we're talking about interviews, because we just wanted to start that as a way of warming up to this channel. And actually, let me digress a little bit. This channel was never meant to have this podcast thing. It's becoming like a podcast now. The idea was just like, okay, bring friends that you know, and then we discuss about anything. Then before knowing it, that's how podcasts work.
I thought this was a podcast.
So
It was meant to be a YouTube channel.
So for the next installment, we'll be mainly doubling down on what we call software craftsmanship. Okay, the large umbrella term is software craftsmanship, but I think there's been this movement to try and make sure that the terms we use are always inclusive, because the man there, it's like people are thinking about men more, like, 'cause even those query workers, whatever guys who used to do those craft stuff, mostly were men, like from back, right? So there's that unconscious bias. So for me, I just prefer calling it software craft, almost like the witchcraft or spycraft. But so for today, I wanted us to mainly go around not settling. Now you are at Microsoft, you're at Facebook, at Google, you're at this big company that you feel like this is the epitome of what you really want to be, and then you just settle. Now you're on the mountaintop, right? You just chill and say, okay, you're being paid well, you're doing everything well, and you just settle, and you just do your job, the bare minimum, or at least maybe you are stellar, you crush it, but what are the things that you can do to not settle, to keep lifelong learning? And so any advice or any comments, anything, just open up your heart, whatever you like to say on that. Yeah.
Let me see. You want to go first?
Yeah.
Just you.
Okay, let me see. Especially at Microsoft, there's something called perspectives. So usually when you work with people in a team, you can ask for perspectives on areas that they think you should focus on and grow. That's something that you can really leverage. Like, yeah.
So which is mainly, I think, feedback, basically,
Yeah,
right?
feedback, yeah.
Leverage feedback to grow. Oh yeah, I like that, because most times you go to a like, let me just be truthful. Like when I was younger, basically, I felt like I was really great. like you, so you don't even to hear about any feedback. Like you're just comfortable in your own skin, and which is also sometimes good. But does not mean that it is mutually exclusive. That when you're comfortable with your own skin, you don't have to like listen to what people have to say. Like I know I'm cute. I don't have to ask like, oh, am I looking? I don't do any feedback on that. So like I think I love that. You might like because feedback is sort of collective. What is it? Collective knowledge, right? Or wisdom. Where you're getting so many things from people, and those people are giving you feedback based on their own past and on. So you're really growing in terms of just everything. And normally, what I've noticed that very few people will just give feedback if you don't ask them. Very few, because they're not sure whether they will hurt you or but then if you ask me or give me some feedback, I'll go, okay, now that you've asked, let me give you. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And the feedback doesn't have to be in a formal setting, like in those applications. It could be in like a meeting or just me and you talking, and then you tell me, in that project, in that delivery, you should have done this and this and this, yeah. So the next time I know what to really do in my delivery, what to really do when doing my implementation and all that, yeah.
Okay, then what about this? Like, what do you think about lifelong learning? Like, where you keep learning, and for example, maybe we'll go with your example. Like, what you may be learning right now that is mostly general, not specific to MS, where it don't have to be proprietary, but anything that is general to anyone listening, anyone in the public, and the idea just around trying to always self-improve.
Okay, so currently I'm really I'm focusing on software architecture. So I've been looking into scaling. Yeah. So making sure that your application can scale. So this something that I'm really looking into, because it's just not enough to build an application. It has to handle a large population, 1 million people, more than 1 million, and all that. So that's something I'm looking into. Books, there are books that I'm using, as well as
You can give some of them if you remember the titles or just in verbatim. You can get me. Send me the links. The links I put them on the description. Like some of your recommended books, right?
And videos as well. I'll send the recommendations.
Books, right? Nice. What else, Clement? Do you have anything on them?
That I'm learning, or
No. Like any advice to that person who has already found a job and not wanting to settle.
Well, can talk about me personally.
Okay.
Personally, I have a love-hate relationship with imposter syndrome. So, there's sometimes you feel like, okay, you're kind of getting ahead of yourself, or you kind of stay comfortable in your own skin. I've always wanted to work in a setting where I have people who are better than me, or people like who make me kind of feel small. So let's say if I reach a certain milestone and I start feeling myself, and then I'm in an environment where I see these people around me and what they're doing, I'm like, oh my goodness. So that confidence that I had built, it kind of just comes crashing down, and then I feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. So you kind of feel it kind of sucks, but then now when I'm at the bottom, I am like, how can I get there? And so I use that as a challenge to kind of try to overcome, to learn and to be able to develop my skills to get to that level where I feel like I can have a conversation with these people and know what I'm talking about. But then when I get there, I feel like every time I hit a new milestone, it's like the cycle starts again. So it's like I'm always, so that hamster wheel thing. Like I'm always chasing that next level, and it's like I always go through a cycles of confidence and lack of confidence. confidence, lack of
Look,
confidence. So I don't know. I don't know if that's sustainable. If we but I think that's kind of how I operate, and that always keeps me going. For example, I might be here and I want to get promoted, and so when I get a promotion, I feel like, okay, that means that I've actually grown to the next milestone. But then when you get promoted, you're at the bottom of the new level. So
exactly,
now,
that's true.
then I start wondering, okay, so let's say if I get hired, like when I got hired, let's say when my previous job, I think when I started, I was like, I didn't know what the software was. I had to learn the tools. So over the maybe two and maybe 3 years that I was there, I kind of saw myself grow. But then you kind of feel like, okay, maybe I can do this because it's like a small startup, and it's a project I've been able to learn the ins and outs of. But will I be able to make it if it was like a bigger company? And so let's say I apply to a bigger company and you pass through the interview. So there's that pride you feel from passing the interviews, especially if you know how many people don't get through. But then I'm start asking myself, maybe it was a fluke. maybe it was the interviewers. Maybe if I was given another interview would have failed. So then I start doubting myself, like, okay, maybe I made it, but maybe it was just luck. Maybe given other circumstances would have failed. So now I feel like I have to prove to myself that I'm here because I deserve it. So then I'll try to work on that and try to work. For me, like that feedback that I've made, it has to come from other people, not from myself, like maybe from my peers or from my managers or through a promotion. But then now if you get that, then it's like now the expectations are high, and now I start asking myself, okay, can I meet these expectations? Do I belong at this level now? Again, I have to prove. So I guess for me the question is, I think maybe how to manage is how not to always be stressed. I feel like I'm always balancing between, oscillating between confidence and doubting myself, and feeling like I've reached a milestone, and also feeling like I don't belong in this room. So,
I see. So let me
it's always
draw
the dynamics.
it's more of a pendulum here.
Also.
I've just drawn a pendulum using coffee and doubt. And you're saying that's actually growth,
Yeah,
right?
that's growth, because you're not doubting yourself at the same level you were a few months ago. It's a different level. So, yeah.
Oh, you're not doubting like the same things that
Yeah.
you were doubting before.
Yeah.
I see. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And another thing that you mentioned that I think was popped out was that top of one thing is the bottom of another, which is still okay. So you're right on the top, and then you're just the bottom. You're on top of Mount Kenya, and then you notice like, what is Kilimanjaro, right? There's similarities. So yeah, I think, and I guess you're saying that's growth, because now next time you climb Kilimanjaro, then now you're going higher and higher. So which is good. So I think in conclusion is like, don't be stressed now with that kind of like, because just know that you're growing. I guess someone told me that using the default. Okay, no, it's cool. Okay, let's just finish with this. We got some interesting technical hiccup, but that's how we do it. We don't care really about this technical stuff. We'll figure it out as we go. So I think while we were doing the setup, I think there was some interesting conversation that I picked from you two. You were talking about how do you handle rejection, but before we lost the stream, we'll come to that, the handling of rejection, and then I liked your tip, and then we'll come. Let's go back to that part of imposter syndrome. And I was thinking that, and even I put here a note that we'd like to handle it as a topic on its own at some point. But I just wanted to chip in a little bit about my own way of dealing with imposter syndrome. Is that I know I have this comfort that that everyone is trying to figure out something. Like no one has it together. Like even the guys you really admire and you're really intimidated when you see them. There are things that you're also trying to figure out. Everyone's on that journey of figuring out things. So if you know that is the way, that is the norm, then you know that you're not an outlier, like by feeling like you're small. So it's really okay. And I think even it's a good thing actually to always work in a place where you're not the smartest in the room, because it means you are really learning. I like that kind of things. Actually, if you stay in a place where you're the smartest and then it stays for long, okay, at some point you can be the smartest. Yes, it's okay, but if you take pride in that, I think you'll be losing it out, because now you're not learning anything. You should be finding out like, hey, now what should be the next challenge now? I need to be in another place where I can learn more. Yeah, so I think that was a good thing to raise. So, but I would like to hear perspectives of how people have dealt with this, like practically. So we can queue this up as one of the topics. I have some topics upcoming on this channel, so we'll see how we can queue this up. But let's go to your tip on handling. Yes, you're asking her about handling. How does she handle rejection after you have applied, and then maybe just come again with that question the way you asked it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just interested by the fact that you are you said you did like 10 applications a day, and there's so many applications. Like, of course, probably there's a good number where either you don't get a response, or if you get a response, you get a negative response. And I've seen cases like where people get repeatedly rejected when applying. They start questioning like, is this the right career for me? Will I ever get in the industry? To the point that you start losing hope and giving up. So just curious, like, how were you able to kind of keep trying after all the rejections, keep your spirits high, and keep, like, what's just your overall mindset throughout the process?
Yeah. The mindset really is, it's not about you. You're not the person. You've not been rejected. It's just that they're looking for someone different. Maybe it's not the place for you. You might get in there and then you'll be uncomfortable. It will be bad for you. So just try something else. And it doesn't mean that it's the only opportunity. You see, there will always be opportunities out there. And as long as the career portals are surviving and they are earning, that means there are jobs out there. Otherwise, they wouldn't invest in companies and portals and all that. Yeah.
Like
so you just keep trying, and the best scenarios are when they get back to you and tell you, this is the reason why we didn't take you. You need to work on this and this and this, and then you can work on it. The second best is when they tell you that you didn't get in, but they don't give you. But there are some cases where they go silent and then
silent treatment.
They go silent, and then 1 year later, one year down the line, you're still waiting. But it's not really about you, what you lack or what you have, what you don't have. It's just a fit. Yeah.
I think I like the way you look at it. Like, actually, I didn't look at it that way. Like, for me, I think I got rejections. Like, I don't know if I should ever talk about my experiences interviewing, especially with the funks. So I interviewed Google, Facebook. I'm not afraid to say that, because it's not like I was an idea not to say that I interviewed. My idea is that I shouldn't say what they asked me. Okay, but the fact that I interviewed, I have to say that I got so many rejections, and even some of them were making me like really actually that thing of doubt, like, and yeah. But I like the way you look at it, that it's not about you. Look at it in terms of like that even specific team didn't just feel like you be the right fit on that. And then even most of the jobs, actually looking back, actually I ended up saying, I thank God I didn't get in that way.
Yeah.
There would have been a different like kind of thing that maybe the line that I wouldn't want to go. Yeah. So I like that kind of philosophy. So yes, I know our sound must be very bad right now, guys, but I'm sorry about that. We will fix this like in the next streams. I hope by now you know that we are improving every day. Indeed, we didn't have a note. At least give us credit for that. Like, we didn't have a Blackboard, a live Blackboard. Now we have a live Blackboard. So next we'll have very good sound setup and no power interruptions. So thanks for joining us. I see we had we've been up to 8 folks watching now. really awesome. We don't take it for granted. We appreciate you for coming on and listening to us than us just speaking to the air. So we really appreciate that. So I think we can end it here. We'll bring it home. I can just like summarizing what you said. Like, let's go back to what you mentioned about. I still have it here about tips. So Kathure mentioned about tips for interviewing. She had 6 tips. I think I didn't capture the 6th one, but I'll get it. That be careful about the language you choose for the code challenge. Like, don't just speak a language maybe to impress the interviewer. Like, oh, they want C-sharp, let me show them a bit of the C-sharp I've been learning in the past 2 weeks. And then they ask you something something about asynchronous programming, and then you don't know anything. So it really makes you look bad. Take a language that you've always been like, you can wake up at night and in the middle of the night and you can jump on a challenge with. Resources, she shared very nice resources. Gigs for Geeks, we'll share all the links there. LeetCode, I think by now you know we use this a lot on this channel. YouTube, there's a YouTube channel for Gaurav Sen, which will also be linked here for design questions. Interview Cake, we said it has good explanations. We had an extra one from Clement, interviewing.io. Number 3, it was like, set up a curriculum of things you like to review. Like, okay, you want to say, I want to go over stacks, queues, linked lists. I want to go over binary trees, red-black trees, those kind of things. And then now use that as a way of tracking yourself. So I like that. Actually, on this platform, like, this platform rides on what you call Kazi Plus. So Kazi Plus had a recommended sort of playlist of things that you can go over. So which I think also link all those on the description of this stream. For those who will be watching this later, you will have that benefit. And then number 4 was finding people to practice with. I liked the fact that it's not just that you're trying to tell them like, oh, tell me how I sound, but it's more like also you want to listen to what not the feedback rather, but how they will have tackled that question. I like that. I never thought about it that way. So that's really awesome. And then keep calm. This was a repeated point also, like keep calm, but we also extended by adding more other points about listen to the question. Sometimes when you're nervous, you're just trying to do a question that you think the interviewer, like you want a question that you thought you should have been asked. Not answering a wrong question. So ask for clarification where need be. Draw. If you need to like visualize, like draw something, like this is how I approach. So not visual is better, even if I think visual is visual is almost an universal language. I think, I believe no one can say that I prefer just you talking, don't draw. So and then you could start with the pseudocode, then also optimize the pseudocode well if you have time, but also like if there's no time, you can always rush to writing the code. At least have something at the end. We talked about like having something in the previous session. Yeah, and then there was a 6th one that you mentioned around that I didn't screenshot, so I can't see it. But do you remember the 6th one that you told me when we were going to interview us? And then
that was on projects.
Yes,
and
exactly.
the impact that they've had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you say have your facts right.
Yeah.
Don't just go there and then maybe it's a project you did 5 years ago and you don't remember all the facts, and then and then now you're just blabbing through, and then they think you're just lying now. Yeah, okay, sounds good. So I think by now we are exhausting this interview space, because you said you cannot be interviewing forever. Even we know Kathure used to interview a lot, but she has not been especially there's a good experience with interviewing. She said like there's a time you're doing how many interviews in what were the record? Applications like 10 every day, 10 applications every day. So, but you know that she did that like it's not sustainable. She did it for like
that was
less than what? I mean, maybe
until I got the first job at least.
And then you left. You see, yeah, it got so that's what we're thinking, that this channel we're going to go over to now the next topic, which we call software craftsmanship. or just software craft, and so many now topics will gonna come from those. Those ones it's lifelong. We'll always be talking about those issues, coming back to them, circling back, and what else? So look out for next sessions. Will be really awesome sessions. We'll try to also bring more people on board. Like at least we have now grown our co-hosting. Now we are 2 co-hosts. I'd like to have even some guys joining on Zoom. So if you're out there and you like to be involved in this, send me a message. You can get in touch with me on just ask at. Let me put it on the board here. So, and it's also in the description of this channel, but let's just put it here. Just put ask at bored.black. Yes. So actually that's an email for real. Just send it there and you'll see me responding to it. If you like to come on this, like whether join remotely, you might be in anywhere in the world. I'd like to have you on board and we can discuss. Yeah. Why are you laughing?
Like you get just domain names.
Yeah, I'm a domain name junkie basically. I wish if you came to my Namecheap dashboard, you will see like how many domains I have. But anyway, so what else? I think we can come to the end. I thanks so much, Kathure, for honoring our invitation. Yeah, we'd like to have you back again, even co-hosting. Yeah, so what I'm now doing is like every guest becomes automatically becomes a co-host. yeah. Every guest becomes a co-host. So, and I'm just having fun with this. Like I just prefer because all these guys actually are my friends. I started with my friends. So like guys, I was just telling them that it's all about just conversation. Don't like, and we just be real. We try not to maybe have lips where we bloopers or what they call, like maybe say something that no, you're not supposed to say. We really try to do that. but we just be real and just keep discussing and keep talking. So thanks so much for joining. I think we had so many guys coming in, popping in and out. We appreciate that. So see you on the next one and let's keep talking. Thank you. We having like some music to end the stream. Yeah, I know now. I know. Next time I'll queue up some music to end the stream. Yeah, we're growing. Slowly we're growing. So nice. So let me just end this stream. Thank you. Good.